And okay, rolling with all cameras. I'm going with my GoPro Hero 3 Plus Black Edition, the Canon 550D with the Tokina 11 to 16mm adapter onto this, and with the Panasonic gh4 with this 7 to 14mm lens. Now, okay, this test I'm going to try and put both the Canon and the Panasonic close to one another. We'll see. This is a test of their low light capability. The Canon 550D is a cropped framed sensor, so it's a APS-C size. So that means it is 1.6 times the size of a full frame camera. The Panasonic gh4, on the other hand, is a micro 4/3 sensor, which means it's 2 times smaller, or half the size of a full frame camera sensor. And this is a test, and the Panasonic gh4, brand new. The 550D, pretty old, it's been out for a while now. But the question is, this one, the Canon, has a bigger sensor. The Panasonic has a smaller sensor. And the question is, and the GoPro has an even smaller sensor as well, a tiny, tiny one. And they can all shoot full HD, 1080 and all that kind of stuff. But how well can they do at night time? So I'm going to take you guys into a car and we're going to drive down to the shops for me to do some recycling. But my question is, before I go into the car, which one do you think will do better outside? At the moment we're shooting indoors, we've got some lighting on, and the cameras can deal with this, not a problem. But in a car outside in the pitch dark, just with street lights, high ISO in these two cameras is both going to be around about 3200. The GoPro Hero 3 Plus Black Edition, how's that one going to do in comparison? So if you were to say which one you think is going to be the best or better or whatnot, let me know before, or type it in the comments down right now, and then we can have a little look. We'll go do the video just now. But if you just want to see what it looks like, if we do lower the light, ooh, look at that! Look how outside the room on the Canon suddenly becomes, or on the Panasonic, really becomes nice and warm. Ooh, and that's us at no light. Bingos. So let's go take them into the car and see how it goes. Okay, so got the Panasonic and the Canon side by side, same field of views. Should be running, they should be the same. They've got the same white balance settings, and in camera the Canon is in a neutral setting and the Panasonic is in a natural setting as well. Both shooting at 3200 ISO, pretty high up, 30th of a second for both cameras, and at f4 as well. And also we have the GoPro Hero 3 Plus Black Edition shooting at 1080p, 24 frames a second. And so we're just in the car, and it's a totally pitch dark night. The images on the back of the cameras do not look any brighter than what the actual situation is. If anything, the Canon actually looks a little bit brighter, or just a little bit flatter. Certainly the screen on the Panasonic looks a lot more saturated, a lot more crisper. It really looks I've got it on like a strong, vivid setting, rather than the Canon looks far more more grey, more bleached out. So this is them both in a tungsten white balance setting. So these street lights over on the left there, they're really orange. The ones in front of me are a little bit less orange. There's one white one away over in the distance there. And again, on the screen, the Panasonic looks far more orange. The Canon I would say looks like a far more correct colour, but not as eye-catching. I think is probably the best way to describe it. Okay, for this next shot, I'm going to move the ISO up to 6400 ISO, so one stop brighter. Okay, so now we're rolling with them both set to ISO 6400, and I've also just pushed the saturation down on the Panasonic as far as it can go, because it just seemed like just too saturated, even though it's in a natural white balance, natural camera profile. I would say this actually looks a little bit better, so definitely having the saturation right down on the Panasonic is definitely, I think, going to help. Dirty windscreen doesn't help with the video, but this is more a look at the white balance and the noise, the sharpness that we're getting from the images as well, and really just like, are they better than a GoPro Hero 3 Plus Black Edition? Okay, now we're getting to a section with a little bit more lights, couple buildings, more traffic lights as well. Do the greens look green? Do the reds of the cars in front look red? Can we even see them? Going under this bridge, how well do we get the details of the underside of the bridge, even though there's nothing really there? I would say at this super high ISO setting, I'm actually liking the view on the back of the Canon. View on the back of the Canon more than I like the view on the back of the Panasonic. However, the Panasonic does give me zebras, so I can see which bits are blown out because they're too bright. So every time a car is coming along, I can see that there is sections which are too bright. And what I've done is I'm going to crop these so you don't just see the bottom bit where you just see the kind of section of dashboard, so we can place them on top of each other. So slightly narrower, but I think you get the idea. And here is where I do the recycling. Packaging recycling. Now with the Tokina I can get a little bit brighter with the brighter aperture which looks like this. Whew, look at that extra brightness. Okay, there's the end, bye bye. However, one thing that I'd like to mention which is very cool about the Panasonic is that I can go slower than shutter speed. So here I'm down to 1/5 of a second. With the Canon I'm as fast as it can go. With the Panasonic, yeah, it's like this cool kind of blur effect that we've got, but man, look at how bright it is in comparison. It looks like I'm also going super fast, and I'm actually going, I'm almost not going at all. But if I were just to stay still, look at the difference in the brightness we're getting with the Panasonic to the Canon. If I even dip my lights, look at that. The question is just like how far I can go to 2.5. What the hell is that? 2.5 of a second? Don't know what that is, but just like there, and that's still video. That's not a case of me taking photos now. And oh, look at the speed I'm going at! I'm going so fast! Yeah, look at these trees, yeah, whizzing past, which you can't even see on the Canon. Okay, that is actually ridiculous. I'm gonna bring that back up to. Let's bring it up to about 15th. No, it's better. 10th of a second. So we're getting so much more potential light coming in. Still at f4, ISO 6400, and I'm on a road where I'm not 100% sure where I am. I may be ever slightly lost. Hi Kim.
More than now, so I reckon it'll be more like 9 o'clock.
Okay, no worries. I'm around the area anyway.
Alright, well if you just keep an eye on the internet on the arrivals and see what time it's expected in it, I'll give you an idea.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay, see you later. Bye. But I'll be quite interested to see this once I get it back on the computer, just seeing how much more brightness I'm actually getting for this. Now what I'm trying to find is a way towards the back end of the airport to see if we can see any aeroplanes. I'm going to bring it back up to the normal speed. So 25th of a second, that seems good enough. Airport, I think, is off to the left here. Let's go find it. Actually, straight road again. I'm going to slow down the shutter speed. Let's get it down. 1/5 of a second. Look at how the fence at the side is totally blurred out because of the speed. Rocketing speed I'm going at. I'm seeing a lot of light pointing towards me. Where am I? Suntrap Garden? Totes. Oh, what's this? A traffic light for a bridge? No, let's go super fast. No! You actually have to make speed noises when you're using the Panasonic at 1/5 of a second. I don't understand how that actually works. Not there, but here. Is that the airport? I think I'm near the airport. Oh, no, I'm in somebody's... Damn, card full. That is it with 4x digital zoom and the teleconverter at ISO 6400 looking at a plane. Let's get it into manual focus. If I have this in manual focus and I'm shooting, there's my little GoPro there, and I can check my focus there, that's fine. Or I can get it really kind of out of focus and focus on the bit of the steering wheel there. If I go out there, and if I think I'm focusing, the fact that I can go slower than the frames per second, so keeping it still, bringing it down to 1/5 of a second, seeing quite a lot of bright. However, if I'm moving anything, that's pretty rubbish. But I can bring it in video mode down to, I've reached the maximum, 2. Is that 1/2 a second? I think that's 1/2 a second exposure for each shot. Yeah, that must be it. But now, I've got a far brighter than reality image recording. That's cool. That's very cool. Something which I've never had before on any camera.